Well, it's a foggy day here in rural Retreat, Virginia. And it's almost Christmas. So, welcome back to the Orloff show, the Hotel Orloff, the Tomb of Terror, the show that goes by many names. But now we can relax because I'm off for a few weeks and have lots of television programs here on the Orloff Inspirational Network. And all of our shows are broadcast in color now here on the evil YouTube platform. The YouTube has started even more commercials. I think once you get monetized, you can press a button and decide how many commercials will appear during your show. But if you're not monetized, you get commercials, I guess, before your show. But as far as commercials during your show, I think you can press a button and dictate. So some people just have a few commercials before their show begins, but other people like to really wring every penny out, and there'll be literally a commercial every 3 to 4 minutes during their show. So I've seen that happen. You know who you are. Anyway, there's never going to be any commercials in the Orloff show because I'm never going to get to 1,000 subscribers. Never. They'll never let it happen. Especially when I have Right Side Broadcasting Network playing in the background with the presidential candidate whose name cannot be spoken here on YouTube without serious consequences. But, about 2 blocks from here, Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be speaking at 12:10 today and giving out free food at the City Hall. And right now it's, can't see. Right now it's 9:15 in the morning. I don't know if I should go over there and do a Orloff episode with, maybe I could get a soundbite where Vivek Ramaswamy says, "Make sure to watch the Orloff show." I kind of doubt it. Anyway, Vivek Ramaswamy, don't know if I fully trust him, comes from kind of an evil background with the pharmaceutical industry, but he sure says a lot of the right things, and Trump seems to say, he said a couple of rallies ago that, I like that guy because he likes me and everyone else is insulting me that's running for, so I don't know, what if he could be the vice president, he could be Trump's vice presidential candidate. How about, wouldn't that be amazing? I don't know, but there's free food awaiting if I go over there. Well, so it's almost Christmas. And I've got to make sure I don't drop the camera today and shut the show off in the middle of the show, because if I do that, then I'm going to wind up with 2 little short shows, and no one's going to watch them. I don't get more than 200 viewers when I do that horrible mistake. I'll show some more paperbacks. Here's I show this one every time I show paperbacks. Look at that Vault of Horror. This is reprints of EC comics. Like that. Don't want to open it too far. What else is exciting? Oh, here's the novelization. This is not comics inside. This is the novelization of the 1972 Tales from the Crypt movie anthology that was based on the EC comics. And staying on that kind of vein, here's a paperback of Creepy. And it's done the same format as the EC, sideways, like the old, the way that all of us first were exposed. I don't know, maybe you weren't, but I was first exposed to the EC comic book Mad in as a little man. I'm holding this water in my hand, and it's not, sorry, set it down. I was first oh, you can see all the trash on the floor in the other room. I need to be careful with my camera angles. I was first exposed to the Harvey Kurtzman Mad as a little comic book supplement in a Mad special in the early 70s, around 72, 73. But then I also was discovering the EC comic book Mad through these paperbacks, which again also are reprinted sideways like so. It's hard for me to show them with one hand because I'm holding the camera with the other one. I don't know. Do you prefer stationary cameras where you know, if I have the camera in one spot and then I bring it? I don't know. I kind of prefer to be mobile and move around. It makes some people dizzy, some people hate it, all of that, whatever. That's how I do it. Here's the Mad Frontier. The reprints of the Mad magazines that came after the Mad comic books, they're done more in an upright format as opposed to the sideways one that you will see for the Kurtzman stuff. Gee whiz, what the heck is that? Oh, never mind. Oh, here's the Tales from the Crypt that goes with that Vault of Horror. This paperback from the late 60s with the Frazetta art. The same as the Vault of Horror that I showed you a minute ago. This reprints the stuff sideways, and I think this paperback was the inspiration for this movie, Tales from the Crypt, I'm pretty sure. Shriekaboo. Yeah, I guess I've got a lot of cool paperbacks. I need to show them. I tried to show them in the last episode, and that was a disaster because I was up on a ladder trying to show them. I need to bring a chair into this room. I think that would be the way to go, ladies and gentlemen. So, it's Christmas. And there's Christmas stuff all over here in the Tomb of Terror, also known as the Hotel Orloff. Look at this painting, probably done in the 60s, possibly the 1950s of the Hotel Orloff. Not a very professional painting, but how about that, ladies and gentlemen? You ever eaten hillbilly bread? Well, I got I got a few Christmas gifts, and I got some trail mix and some Mountain Dews. But Mountain Dew, it's one of those things. Let me show you something here. There's Drew the dog. This is how Mountain Dew was advertised in the good old days, right? Mountain Dew, it'll tickle your innards. Yahoo! It's great. And at some point, I guess they figure it's that's racist against hillbillies. Although, so now Mountain Dew looks like this. They've taken all the vowels out. That's the cool way to do it. It's Matundu, MTN Dew, Mountain Dew. They take all the vowels out, and then, I don't know, makes it cool and hip, kind of like KFC, although I think KFC is starting to call themselves Kentucky Fried Chicken again. I think their reasoning in going to KFC was, we'll fool them. They won't realize it's fried chicken because everyone's health conscious now, so we'll just call it KFC, and they won't know the F stands for fried. I think that was their reasoning, and then everyone else started doing the same stuff. All the same stuff, turning their names into acronyms. President Trump expected to speak soon. I was recording this 2 nights ago, the same night that Colorado took the person who cannot be named out loud on YouTube without them getting upset at you. They took him off the ballot, the state ballot, and that won't last long, but in Colorado. But it was the same night, and then moments after they took him off the ballot, he came out and spoke. I was recording it that night. Now I'm re-recording it because there's a lot of assaults on the Rumble channel, Rumble app, and they knocked Right Side Broadcasting off the air on Rumble that night. Oh, here's Drew the dog, and here's Pete the cat. How you doing, Pete the cat? Drew, come here. Your food is over here. I don't know if you know that.
That's how the left wants this country to be run. That's how they want it to be run. That's what they want the future of our country
Drew,
to look like.
come over here. Your food is waiting. Your food. Eat your nourishment.
I can't, for lack of better words, filthy lifestyles that they're wanting to shove down our throats. He wants to take on big pharma.
There's look at this cool stagecoach from my childhood. We ought to look at stuff I got for Christmas over the years, since it's almost Christmas, but there's still time to do that before Christmas because I have nothing else to do. But let me look around for things that were Christmas gifts. Oh, look at this Bert puppet up here on top of this Seaberg speaker. Bert was present Christmas 1972, along with a Cookie Monster and then Oscar the Grouch that are over here in this Frankenstein trash can. Inside here, I don't remember if this trash can was a present that Christmas, but in there are the puppets. That's where I've stored them since the 1970s. It's inside this Frankenstein. So, oh my goodness. I moved Dr. Dracula's Living Nightmares. I moved this Spook Show poster over here under the Wurlitzer stereo speaker. And I moved this is important things that I've done here in the Hotel Orloff lobby. And so I moved the Revenge of the Creature window card over here. And then I moved the Thunderball window card over here. That was some of the excitement that's happened since I saw you last. And whenever I'm going to look around, whenever I see something that's Christmassy, that I will point it out to you. So, Christmas, wonderful. Let's go upstairs. I'm trying to turn off some lights. Greta Thunberg would be really mad at me for having these lights on. But, you know, in order for there to be television production, you must have lighting, correct? Oh, man. Oh. You have no idea what it feels like to become an old geriatric mental patient that cannot walk upstairs. Oh, well, I should say arthritis patient, not mental patient. It's debatable. Oh, gosh. Christmas time is here. Happiness and cheer. All right, we're back in the comic book room again. Okay, whoa. I've got you guys mounted on a tripod, but this tripod has seen its better days, man. I don't want you guys falling again. When you guys fall and take the plunge, I wind up with very few viewers. And then like that last show, I showed some really cool books. Nobody saw it. 225 people. Pathetic. This channel's never gonna explode. I've started to accept that. I thought, maybe, we're at 600. We actually got to 645 this morning. After I did the last 2 episodes, I lost 2 subscribers, and it took me about 5-6 days. I got 2 more subscribers. Then I got a 3rd one. Yo, 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 yo. Then I got a 3rd one. And so I'm up to 645, which might be a record high. Then I'm starting to realize I'm getting really close to 666. And maybe I should do a little campaign on Facebook or something. It's like, who will be the 666th subscriber to the Gratu Orloff show? But then I think that's kind of juvenile, and I don't want to play into that satanic garbage, because those people into that are the, I do it in a comic way, but those people, they put a Baphomet statue in the in Des Moines, in the capital of Iowa's, the big state capitol building, because they had a nativity scene. So this, not the Church of Satan that was Anton LaVey. It's I think it's called the Satanic Temple or something, and it's run by some young guy. It's some new thing that's for hipsters, and they like to go around and challenge people. It's like, they put up the 10 Commandments. It's like, well, then you got to put up a statue of this of Satan, next to it. And they're more like pranksters, but they're just trying to annoy anyone that's Christian or anything like that. So they put up this Baphomet statue, and some veteran went in there and cut its head off last week. Oh, let's see. We got some old Archie comics here. That's what I'd like to look at today. This is fantastic. Don't you agree? I showed it the other night on 4-Color Fossils. I finally made it back to the 4-Color Fossils show the other night. Oh, this is number 69. That was number 59. This is number 72. I wish I had more from this time period. It's one of those goals that may never happen due to lack of money, but perhaps if this is 98, perhaps with the new presidential administration, there'll actually be some money that I could spend, disposable income. It's like, I can't afford anything. 118. Okay. 122, we're still in the 10-cent era here. What? How strange. Okay, interesting. 131 is magically 15 cents. Looks like Archie. I'll have to look through mycomicshop.com and research this, but it looks like they jumped up to 15 cents and then realized, oh shoot, that was a mistake, and dropped back down. Here's 140. They're back to 12 cents. So, who else did that? I think Dell did that. Am I wrong? I think Dell and maybe Archie decided when they, because it was in late 61 or late 62 that comics went from 10 cents to 12 cents. And they'd been 10 cents since, the mid 1930s, when comic books, as we know them, basically started. And you think, well, how did they hold the price at 10 cents from the 35 to 45, 45 to 55, 55 to almost 65? They stayed at 10 cents. Well, you can have price increases without really increasing the price. And here's how you have fewer pages in the comic. And then you're still paying the same price, but you really are paying more for less. And you see that, with anything that you drink, or bags of chips that are mostly air inside the bag, and they'll make the bottles smaller, and they try to do it gradually so you don't notice it, and it's like, well, it's still the same price, but you're getting a fraction of what you bought before. Okay, here we're into February 1964, and we're 12 cents in February 64. Let me think. Wait. February 64. Comics are dated 2 months in advance. So you go back from February to January 64. So this would have been out on the stands December of 63. And it's dated February of 64. So this was on the stands just a few weeks after the Kennedy assassination, when basically, all this started with that, really, the disintegration of the country. Oh, it's Christmas. Let me show you some other stuff. Well, there's always going to be cool Christmas. Let me look for Archie Giant series. I could show you some Christmas covers, but I don't know. These are, this is from 1993. It's a great cover, even though it's not a time period I like to. I'd rather show you Christmas comics, Archie Christmas comics from the 60s and early 70s. But there was a brief time period in the early 90s when Archie kind of got better. There's another one. I need to get this one bagged and boarded. I actually have bags and boards now, so really what I need, courtesy of Charlton 66, as a Christmas present, sent me bags and boards and some other cool stuff too. So let me show you some other garbage, and then I'll show you. I think I'm going to go through first my Silver Age comics back there and make sure there's none in there without bags or boards, or that need to have them switched out. And that'll be maybe what I do during this exciting episode. So let me move over without dropping the camera. Would be a nice thing. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so there's a slightly different audience that watches Four Color Fossils than watches this show. I always just assume the same people that watch Four Color Fossils watch this show, but I think there are people that watch my show that don't watch that show. I have no idea why. I don't know why. That's weird. That stupid, what's her name? Rachel Ziegler or whatever, the young lady that's playing Snow White in the new Disney production that's completely insanely stupid and woke. She was she got turned the whole internet against her a few months ago, and she was doing some interview, and she was saying, well, we're not making our movie like that cartoon. It's like that was made in 1937, and it's so evident. It's the Snow White fell in love with someone that was just stalking her, and then she looks at the camera and goes, weird, in her little teenage. That's weird. So you're promoting your remake of a movie by insulting something that's been loved for generations, calling it weird that a girl could fall in love with the prince. It's like we're making a movie where she's an independent young woman who's trying. Her main goal is not getting a prince, but it's to be a queen and do a good job following her father and being. Oh yeah. So why am I talking about this idiot? Oh, lately they sat her down and said, hey, stop insulting the original 1937 cartoon. This was a classic. And now she's talking, oh, it was wonderful, but she hates the original cartoon. And so now whenever I use the word weird, I go, weird, weird, like this cretin. Okay, Stanley J. Kirby, a fantastic person that lives near me. And we've been trying, I moved here, I don't know when I moved here. Has it been 14 years? Has it been a year and a half? Everything's surreal. I don't even know where I'm at. My life is completely surreal. But anyway, he lives, I don't know, 2 hours from here, maybe? Pretty close. Maybe closer than that. But Stanley J. Kirby, you know, I know him from Instagram and Facebook and everything. He's a viewer of the show. He sent me this Christmas card and with nice message, and sent me some comic books. And in the past, he sent me amazing stuff, like a collection of the original Canadian superhero Mr. Monster that the 80s comic was based on. I had no idea that it was actually Mr. Monster had actually been a Golden Age superhero. And Lead Paint, who's a wonderful, cool guy that actually doesn't live that far from me either, down one state lower than me, but pretty close, sent me this amazing Christmas card. And it's great. So this is my family, because my family's gone, and you know, I have one family member. Well, I've got my wife's family, which is now my family, but a family member that I don't know. My brother would always send Christmas cards and little things at Christmas, and he is he just lost touch with me. So I don't know. So he sent me this cool CD that I'm going to listen to very soon. Don't you hate it when people say, I don't have a CD player, I don't have a DVD player, all I do is stream? It's like, look, get a DVD player, because you need to actually grow up and stop streaming and actually own things, because that's part of their plan, is to have us own nothing. But he sent me these cool Untamed Highway comic books. And then I realized that these have been done by a gentleman named Sean Dickinson, who's a friend of mine on Facebook. So these are comics obviously done by people that appreciate lowbrow culture, comic books, Big Daddy Roth, Mad Magazine, monsters, everything that makes life worth living. Here's another one by the same creative team. And I guess the band the Hexers are... I wonder if the artists of this comic are actually the Hexers. That would be interesting. You create a comic book to promote your own stuff, you know. And yeah, this is just what I've always loved is monsters and Big Daddy Roth and all of that, and, you know, weirdo stickers. And there's also people into tattoo culture that are kind of into this, but I've never been a big tattoo person. I mean, at first the sight of people with tattoos was like very jarring, and now I've gotten used to it. It's like no big deal, you know. I know, you know, just at first seeing women with tattoos was jarring, because when I was a little kid in the 70s, women with tattoos, that was kind of like something you'd see in the circus or you know, places that are unsavory. And now it's just like everybody's got tattoos. I don't, because, you know, I don't like pain. But some people get addicted to the pain, I guess. Oh my gosh, cutting off people's heads, that's horrific. Okay, and apparently this is named, she's an Anna cartoon. Artwork's good. Sean Dickinson and Noah Snodgrass. I need to research this stuff more. Somehow this stuff's come out over the last 20 years. This one's dated 2005, and I've been completely unaware of it. So I'm here to promote. Here's a Benny and Cecil takeoff. I will Send stuff to me and I'll promote it on this show, and 300 people will see it. It's not like I'm a big influencer or anything. This is a beautiful cover. It's got a protective cover on it. It says protective cover, please remove. Not sure. Yeah, it's good stuff. I gotta put these over here where I can read them and then file them under. Well, I wouldn't. What should I file these under? Underground? They're not really underground. Well, they are in a way. I've still got my underground comics in the other room from where I showed them at Halloween time. Hold on, Captain Strange. Ah, shit. Oh, it's still going. Here's what happened. The tripod that Captain Strangelove sent me, one of the legs is, I've got to put it back in. Anyway, so that was probably pretty dramatic. I'm sorry I used the curse word. I meant to say shoot, gosh, dag nabbit, dag nab camera. Yeah. It's gonna be, you lousy stinking. Okay, now I gotta screw you back into the tripod without pausing the video production. Okay. Okay, I have no idea what I was talking about, but I'm sure it was interesting. I wonder if they would allow a camera into the Vivek Ramaswamy little thing. It says Vivek Ramaswamy is going to appear at 12:10, but then I see him like at 1:15. He's going to be at a pizza place in a town that's 45 minutes away. So how long is he actually going to talk? I mean, although he talks very fast, he's very much a he's a very fast talker, and he doesn't stop and say or anything. He's very slick, which makes some people wary of him because it reminds them of very Sotero. Oh man, yeah. See, I still have all my underground comics out here. Oof, man, what am I doing? Here's my new comic display that I've hardly ever. Anyway, I got stuff to do. Why am I even in here? Okay, let's just start with the Silver Age books and see what we can do. Oh no, I was gonna show you something else. That's why I did this. Okay. This was Christmas of 1972, second grade, the 1972-73 school year. My mom got it for me at a bookstore. Anyway, this is the first of the big treasure. I call them Treasury size editions. Marvel called them Marvel Treasury editions. DC called them collector's item editions or something. But anyway, there were these giant comics that came out in the 70s, and they reprinted. Sometimes they'd have new stuff in them. Usually they were reprints. This reprints the 1950s DC Rudolph comics. Now, Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, started in Montgomery Ward stores, and while you're waiting to see Santa, they'd have a little cartoon theater, a little constructed cartoon theater where you could watch Rudolph. It was a multimedia thing that Montgomery Ward came up with the idea of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it's stuck, and it's become part of our Christmas culture. As best I can understand it, they came up with the idea. There's a book, there's the Gene Autry song, Rudolph the Coughing Reindeer, Red-Nosed Reindeer, and then they made a cartoon. I think Rudolph Ising made a cartoon. So you'd be in Montgomery Ward, and they'd have that cartoon playing. I don't know if it was rear projected or whatever. So you could go in the little cartoon theater while you're waiting in the line to see Santa. I think that's what they did. So there's a Rudolph cartoon from the late 40s. It wasn't until the mid 60s, I think 1964, that the Rankin Bass stop motion animated Rudolph came along, which is wonderful. And in the 90s, Nightmare Before Christmas from Tim Burton came out, and I thought it was great. I loved the animation and everything. It was fine. But the music was terrible. But those 1960s Christmas specials, the music's wonderful. And Nightmare Before Christmas, I don't want to insult you if you love your... I just thought the music was awful. I guess it's Danny Elfman, who's, he's written about 2 songs that... If you're a fan of Oingo Boingo, hey, I don't want to rain on your parade. I hate what I hate. I hate things that some of my friends love, like I hate U2. I don't hate you. I hate the band called U2. Always hated them. I remember there was a band that came out for a little while in the early 80s called The Alarm. And they had some song, Come On Down and Meet Your Maker. Apparently it was based on Stephen King's The Stand. But anyway, I heard that and I said, well, if U2 sounded like that, I'd like U2, but I don't like U2. It's just, I hate the sound of the singer. It's like everyone loves Guns N' Roses. I don't like the sound of the singer's voice. If there was a different singer, the music's probably fine. But I can't stand certain singers. I can't stand Steve Perry of Journey. A lot of people love Journey. I can't stand that band, man. Anyway, so whatever. In the meantime, between the Montgomery Award initial assault of Rudolph in the late 40s and the 1964 modern Rudolph that we see every year, in the 50s, DC put out one comic, a giant comic, every Christmas about Rudolph. And then they started reprinting in the 70s. These are just reprints of the wonderful Rudolph comics from the 50s. And now, this is probably a better, more healthy depiction of the reindeer and Santa than the Rankin Bass version, although I love that. You gotta admit, Santa Claus came across as a real asshole in the Rudolph animated special that we grew up with, and Rudolph's father was horrific, man. That was awful. The only ones that you could really say are okay were like the female reindeer, the one that fell in love with him, and then his mom, and then the elves were kind of jerks too. It's he meets this elf that's he meets an elf that's an outcast, a misfit, right? And so, but I guess everyone redeems themselves at the end, and they pick up all the toys from the Island of Misfit Toys and all that. Anyway, that's a very rare one. Apparently that Rudolph is very valuable because it doesn't hardly even exist. They call it scarce or something like that. I don't know. I used to know the difference between rare and scarce. I used to have a lot more knowledge in my brain, from reading the Overstreet Price Guide, like for entire summers when I was in 6th grade and stuff. Now, I knew the names of all the Golden Age comics. Now I don't know squat. because, you know, life happens. But and I can't ever afford those books. But so sorry if you come here seeking knowledge. There are people out there that have vast amounts of knowledge and love for comics, even though they never read them. And they'll take your questions on their shows, and people, whatever. I just know what I love, and I love these Rudolph comics. Oh, there was apparently also a little Rudolph Digest comic I was reminded of. I've never seen that. Most of these other Rudolphs, I bought them at half-price books. It was just that first Rudolph and maybe one other that I actually bought when they came out. I don't know why I didn't. I mean, well, for one thing, I didn't have unlimited money, and $2, you know, that was some money. But the main thing I remember about Christmas 1978, I think last week was the anniversary of the release of Superman the movie, and boy, that was a monumental event. Here's the Marvel Christmas. I bought this one when it came out. Man, look at Hulk there. Look at the look on his face. I'm gonna vote for Joe Biden. That's probably the look that most people had on their face when they're voting for him. It's like, well, I'm gonna get free money from the Democrats. I'm voting for D, Democrat. All right, this is another one that this is Christmas of '75. Interesting. Look at what Nick Fury has gotten a Christmas gift of who knows what kind of weapon that is, and how many people it could kill. And he's all happy that Santa brought it to him. No, this is the the one that changed my life as far as getting me interested in the superheroes. This Fantastic Four one. Well, but when Superman the movie came out, it's like, wow, this is unbelievable. This just, the music, everything, you know, because John Williams can write music. Danny Elfman wrote a good Batman theme for the 1989 Batman movie. Everything else just sounds just like that, you know. But they would hire him to do every theme song for every superhero movie because he did the Batman theme, which really kind of sounds like the trailer. I'm sorry, like the music, the opening theme to one of the Batman movie serials from the 40s. You can tell he kind of took it from that, and I don't know. I can't remember. I mean, he did the theme to the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I mean, if I watch it, then the music might stay in my head for a little bit, but it doesn't stay because it's not good music. Stays in your head like the James Bond theme or the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones March. You know, it's just like you're never gonna forget those themes. The Superman music. Oh, why was I talking about that? Hold on. Oh, here it is. And Christmas, I think this was a Christmas gift in Christmas of '78. This is a tie-in with the movie, and really the only thing you could get was the Superman soundtrack album that I got at Kmart near my house, and I got this, and there were a few magazines that came out that had Superman on the cover, but back then it was there were no Superman toys Christmas of '78. I mean, there are already pre-existing Superman toys out there from Mego, And I think Mego made a big giant Superman, much bigger than the 8-inch one. It was more like G.I. Joe size, maybe even bigger. But I don't know if that came out. Was that out for Christmas of '78? I don't know. I remember Christmas of '78. I got a Starbird. Where is that Starbird? I think that's down in the basement. It's like because it was the 1 year after Star Wars, and Starbird was this spaceship that made sounds when it went down. I need to put a battery in there and see if it still works. Anyway, this is the, and it's not comics inside. It's just more like a fan magazine and stuff like that. Valerie Perrine. That poor Valerie Perrine is I see pictures. I mean, I guess she's a friend of mine on Facebook or something, but I'll see these pictures pop up, and she's always in bed. I think she's like bedridden, and she does not look like this anymore, unfortunately. And then you start realizing how long it's been since. That's been 45 years since this movie came out, and then you get, that's a little depressing. Everything about the movie's great. His performance could have been ratcheted down a bit. It was almost like, this is coming from, the whole movie is like real serious, like a biblical epic, but with humor. And then he appears, and he's like right out of the '66 Batman, and it's but he's got an obvious wig on. And at the very end, he pulls the wig off to show, yes, I am bald, when he gets to prison. Which is, but, you know, he should have been bald throughout the whole movie. Let's face it. What's the problem is when you get these big stars, and they've got big heads, big egos, and they start telling you, hey, this is how I'm going to perform the part. So anyway, they show all the stuff. I mean, there's a little bits of comic art that show, you know, where these characters came from. I love this. It's like a whole map of the Fortress of Solitude. This scene here, I mean, it's just like unbelievable. Unbelievably great. Yeah, I was talking to I was talking to the one of the puppets from the Geeky Puppet Show the other night, and I was saying, you know, I don't like the John Byrne era of Superman. I like the way Krypton was shown, and the spaceship, and the way the Kryptonians looked, and the Kryptonian cities pre-Crisis on Infinite Earths, and of course this Krypton looked nothing like that in this movie, which maybe that gave them the balls to start thinking, well, maybe we can change things. The movie did it, and no one got too mad at the movie. Oh well. The numbering, I've never, let's see, C62. I guess these are all numbered. How does it work? I don't know. Oh, I forgot why I'm here, which is to go through these. Let's move back. Okay, don't you fall over. Don't you fall over. Not gonna let you fall. Anyway, if you got ideas of stuff you want to see, or because I've got time to do shows now, so if you would like to see shows about a certain thing, people have requested seeing more records, more DVDs, and I'll do that. Talking to the Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills, and that's what he's wanting to see. And I didn't realize this till Strange Life was talking about this on his latest episode, but he said Man Bear Pig has disappeared off of YouTube. And I looked for him, and it was always hard to find Man Bear Pig on YouTube because he took his name from an episode of South Park. So you look up Man Bear Pig, and it's all this South Park references. But he was always really into the Hulk. So I would type Man Bear Pig Hulk comics, and then I would actually find him. I could go through all my subscriptions, but there's so many, it would take me 48 hours to go through that list. But I think he's right. I think Man Bear Pig may have disappeared. It's been a long time since I've heard from him, and I don't know if he violated community standards or got sick of it, or some people just get depressed, or I don't know. I don't really have any way to contact him except through YouTube, and I thought he'd always be there. That's what I hate about this Democrat world that we live in, is people just get disappeared, and pretty soon people will be off in camps. You think I'm joking? Anyway, Man Bear Pig, a great member of the worst area of the comic book community, the bad neighborhood of the comic community that we inhabit here. Because we're not the cool people that slab their comics. We're not the people that spend thousands and thousands. Look. I need a prop. I just got this for $8,000. It was a bargain. It's the what do they call it? Key issue. It's a key issue because it's the first appearance of Boobop. Boobop the cowboy. It's like, what? Yeah, I don't buy comics based on whether I saw on mycomicshop.com that it's the first appearance of something. I buy comics that look cool to me and that aren't $8,000, because I'm not against the rich. It's fine to be rich, but being rich doesn't make you a comic book expert. Well, I mean, you're spending money constantly on comics, so you are seeing the market because you're looking and you're seeing the titles, and you know which ones are hard to find. So you'd be able to answer those questions. But if you've never really opened a comic because you buy them all slabbed, well then I don't. I'll seek my knowledge elsewhere. Okay, well, the other night on the Incredible Four Color Fossils show, I was showing some books. I don't have much good stuff, but I'll show you some good stuff since it's Christmas and you need to be rewarded. Since you're not getting anything from Santa Claus since you've been bad. I'm going to need a Golden Age bag for this. I saw him directing what's going to be his last film, or, I'm not predicting. It's not like I'm Nostradamus or Edgar Casey. He said, this is the last film I'm going to direct, Eastwood. And that's cool. Man, he's like 142, and he's still directing movies. What I wanted to show you, ladies and gentlemen, is one of my favorite comics. Oh, look at this. I got this for $10 at Duncanville Books back in Dallas. It's got it could probably be flattened by these flattening people. What do you call them? Pressing. It's got like you see that crease there, right there. But if someone flattened it, pressed it, it would look great. I'm looking for something. Where is it, man? Oh, yes. My favorite comic book of all time. From 1946. This is one of the I got a discount on it. I'll go and show that. Stop being a dork, and I'll show you the price. It's marked 120. I got a substantial discount on it, and this is probably, along with Fantastic Four Annual #1 that I got for around $100, about the most I've ever spent on a comic book, because it's called Roly Poly Comics, and it's got this image, which is a complete steal from cover of Blue Beetle, but the artwork is still wonderful, even though it's basically traced. I mean, it's drawn well. In fact, I'd say it's just as good as the art that it was stolen from. And it's called Roly Poly Comics. I mean, someone will say, that's stupid. No, I say this is wonderful. And if you understand why this is wonderful, just because it's completely silly and insane, I like insanity. If you haven't figured that out yet, I salute insanity. Where's my water? I mean, I don't salute this kind of insanity, like Charles Whitman on the top of the Texas Tower back in 66? They just happened to have I've got these Life magazines that there's a lot of violence happening back in 1966, and then this guy, Richard Speck, yeah, Jack Nicholson gets mad. Yeah, I got a bunch of oversized books in this deal here. Here's Jane Fonda in Barbarella. Hey, I'm not getting anything done, man. You guys are distracting me. Okay. Marvel Horror and Humor. Oh, this is not good. Moving a comic box like this is bad. Potentially bad. I didn't injure myself, but moving. Okay. Yeah, there's some books in here that need to be sleeved. There sure are. So let's get the... There's this comic store I used to go to. They would cater to these Yu-Gi-Oh morons and Pokemon people. That's where I think they got most of their money. But they would sell their cards, and then they would put stuff out in front of the store on the sidewalks, like "Take Me," you know. And they put these little golden boxes, you know. I thought, well, even though it says Yu-Gi-Oh, which is very embarrassing, you figure, well, I could probably put little tiny things in it. It's kind of like having a cigar box. And so I got like little miniature guns in here, and some stand for one of those Batman action figures. Just stuff that I don't know where to put it, but I don't want to put it in a trash can because I don't like to throw things away, as you can tell. Okay, let's see what we got here. These are kind of tightly packed, ladies and gentlemen. All right, what is this? This isn't my childhood copy. Oh, man. Come on, man. Okay, very good. This isn't my childhood copy. Where is my childhood copy? Headless Horseman. This is my childhood copy of Supernatural Thrillers #2, The Invisible Man. So I must have gotten this one, which is not an upgrade. It's actually, I got another one that's actually not in as good a condition as the one I kept from 2nd grade. But if you can find this book out in the wild and it's for sale for real cheap, I mean, why would you not get it? I remember this ad. The Terrific 10, advertising the Saturday morning cartoon lineup on NBC. One thing people forget is there was a cartoon version of All in the Family called The Barkleys, where there were dogs. And I never saw it, but I see that it's on YouTube, and I watched at least the opening credits of it. And most of these cartoons that were on their lineup, I did not watch. Well, it started with Pink Panther, then it went to Underdog. I'm pretty sure I watched Underdog, and then there were reruns of the Jetsons. I never watched the Hound Cats. I never watched Roman Holidays, which was like, I think Roman Holidays, you had the Flintstones in the past, the Jetsons in the future, and then I think Roman Holidays was Hanna-Barbera set in the Roman Empire. I never saw the Barkleys. C-Lab 2020, I saw the opening credits a little bit. I never saw Runaround. That looks like Alfred E. Newman there, because there's a Alfred E. Newman record, 45, and you just see the back of his head, and it looks just like that. Around the World in 80 Days, I never watched that. I never watched Talking with a Giant. So the Terrific 10, I love this ad, but I never watched really any of those. So that means that there was something really good on the other channels that I was watching. NBC, ABC or CBS. This is another ad I remember. I didn't know. I remember these cars. I got these cars. They were made in England. As a kid, I pronounced it Corgi. I didn't know. And then I'm in my 30s, and this British girl is very scornful. It says it's pronounced Corgi. It's like, well, I didn't know it's the name of a stupid dog that you have over in your dumb country. I didn't say that to her. I should have. It's like, so normally I don't mispronounce words, but like, I never heard anyone say corgi in my life. So how am I supposed to know how to pronounce it? Like Harry Truman, who mispronounced a lot of words because he read voraciously in the library, but he grew up in a small town where he never heard anyone say these words. So he pronounced them how he figured they were pronounced. And so the sign, they say, never make fun of someone that mispronounces words but knows what they mean, because that means that they learned that word through reading. Anyway, this is great stuff. The Invisible Man. And actually, I could be wrong. This might be my childhood copy. This might be an upgraded one I got later. And why I say that is I'm seeing do you see how there's indentations around you see that? A lot of these comics from this time period I traced. So I might have been making my own Invisible Man comic, and I traced the logo. Or some of you call it a trade dress, but that's the logo. Well, actually, Supernatural Thriller, yeah, that's the logo. Okay, whatever you want to call it, man. As long as you don't call me late for dinner, right? Well, this is getting sleeved, courtesy of Charlton 66. Oh, yes, indeed. Well, yeah, buddy. This is my childhood copy of supernatural thrillers featuring the living mummy. Also has a reprint from the 50s in the back. But, yes, he's the living mummy. The Comics Code Authority, when it was put into place in the mid-50s, said that comics can't have the undead in them. So the Comics Code was relaxed in around 71, I think, which allowed you to have monsters and things in comics, but they were still a little nervous at Marvel, so they always would say, he's the living mummy, Morbius is the living vampire, the living colossus. Yeah, everything was, they always had put out in the title. It's living, it is not undead. It is, so anyway. Where's the tape? The tape. Where's the tape? Because I don't want to have to go back through here and tape all these. I saw the tape the other day, man. Alright. I'm not going to look for tape on the show. Okay, so this is number 7. I'm going to pull out some of these books at the back because they are... there's not enough room in this box. It's packed too tightly. So I'm going to pull out my Little Pals collection. Little Pals funny animal reprints from the early 70s. I bought this one at the 7-Eleven in Hampton, Virginia. And then there's also Little Kids. Put them back here. Okay, now I've got some room to... Might as well show you. Okay. This one is what I believe to be my childhood copy, and this, I think, is one I upgraded. So, you can compare the spines. Let's see. This one I got more recently. This has, it's in Robert E. Howard adaptation. It was reprinted as one of those Marvel milestone comics that they sold for $1. So it must have some key issue significance to somebody. I'm not sure why it was reprinted because it, doesn't have, what's that idiot's, Deadpool's name in it. But for some reason it was reprinted. Okay. I mean, it's a great comic, but I'm wondering why did they reprint it for the type person that buys comics today. Okay, this is one I definitely bought in San Antonio. But I thought, did I just see another one? Yeah. Okay, what's the story on this? Yeah. Okay, this is one I've gotten more recently. This is my childhood copy, which is about to get into a bag and board. And again, I traced the name Headless Horseman, and I see a circle there that because I was drawing with this underneath the paper, and the circle is where I wrote 20 cents. I was making my own comic book line, along with some friends at Regency Place Elementary in San Antonio, Texas. We would make our own comics. Sometimes we would steal characters from Marvel and DC. A friend of mine was doing a Batman comic, and anyway, this is yeah. I don't know. Have you ever found a comic? Obviously, someone had been tracing the cover. Who's this artist? George Tuska art, Jack Abel inks. Oh, The guy that did the inks for this is Howard Stern's cousin, I believe, Jack Abel. These are like Silver Age, but they seem kind of snug on a Bronze Age book. Okay, so that's 6, and then the Living Mummy. Okay, must have started earlier. This is number 7, because it says by popular demand, now in his own Sinister series. So when did he appear first? I don't know. Number 8. Here's number 8. It's already bagged. Okay, number 9. Also a childhood copy that needs to be bagged and boarded. Oh, I forgot about this one. So, Christmas. Oh, I'll look inside it. It's got a Baron Mordo value stamp. Probably about this time is when Wolverine was appearing in the Hulk comic. So, but I was buying the horror books, you know. But I've got the Hulk before. I've got the Hulk 180 that my mom bought for me when I was sick one time. But I just somehow didn't pick up that 181. Okay, so 6. Sorry I tell you the same stories over and over again. I know. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, wait. Oh, this is where he first appeared. Number 5. With this fantastic cover. This is my childhood copy. This is a great cover. This is one of the great covers. I wonder if this is a valuable comic. Squint for a second. For a second, it almost looks like a Spider-Man comic. Doesn't that look like Spider-Man's eye? Like, hold on. If I just kind of went like that, maybe you're looking at Spider-Man thinking with his head down. No. Aren't you glad you use Dial? No, aren't you glad that you watch this show and hear these inane, ridiculous comments? I don't care. Ramaswamy. Should I go get free food? I don't know, man. People might see me there and think I'm not supporting Trump. That would be embarrassing. Anyway, went in this local antique store yesterday to see if there was any last-minute gifts I could get for my wife. I've only been in this store about 4 or 5 times because there's nothing in there that interests me. Maybe there's lots of stuff that would interest like a housewife, but no, not even that. I don't know. But whenever I'm in there, the owner's husband is always talking about how much he hates Donald Trump. I come back. I haven't been in there in 6-7 months, and I go in there and he's haranguing about Trump. And so he apparently, the last time Ramaswamy, this is the second time he's come through. The other time he was at a Mexican restaurant, real close. I mean, Ramaswamy's, this is his second visit. DeSantis was like a block away at a coffee house. And now Ramaswamy will have been 2 blocks away and 3 blocks away. Who are the others? Nikki Haley's never come through, or what's his name, the big guy. The big Chris Christie's never been through. And Donald Trump's been all around here in Virginia, but he's never come to Rural Retreat. Okay. All right, here's my childhood copy of number 4. Supernatural thrillers. He looks a lot more savage here than he does there. Here he looks just like Chris Christie, at the debate. Yeah, he just looks like a comic book, like a guy that would run a comic book store. He doesn't look... I mean, here, this guy looks like he would seriously F you up. Guy inside just looks like, where's the donuts? But I'm not knocking it, ladies and gentlemen. 1 hour and 15 minutes. Usually these episodes time out at about 1 hour and 18 minutes because that's all the memory my phone can handle. Because I have 32 gigabyte or something. Is it even that much? I don't know how many centimeters of... So, I need to get a better phone. I used to be able to record long shows, but now my phone's clogged up with all kinds of garbage. Anyway, so I'll be seeing you. I'll say goodbye now because usually most of the episodes just end with me in the middle of a sentence. So while I'm aware, might as well say goodbye to you. And if I end in the middle of a sentence, then... Didn't I just sleeve this? Maybe I have 2 copies. Did I just show you this one? Maybe I have 2 copies of it. Could be. Yeah, I apparently have 2 copies of this one. How about that? The music's ended. Maybe that's a sign that we should turn out the lights. Or restart the CD. This is stuff I put on CD. I have the 45 RPM records. It's a label called Rinks. They're all they're records that played exclusively, and no one listened to this. They were in normal circumstances like this. They were played in roller rinks. So that they, you'd have an organist in your roller rink, but when they were sick or when they were taking a break, you'd throw these records on, and they would, or if you couldn't afford to hire an organist, you'd play these records. You'd get them on a subscription basis from Rinks Records in California. The guy that plays on most of these, there's a roller rink in California called Rinks, R-I-N-X, and these, there were a couple organ players, and they put together this record label. They recorded any hit song, they turned it into a roller rink record like this, and then they'd send them out to roller rinks that subscribed to their record service, and they went all the way up through the early 70s, and so and all the hits of the time they would do. It's really kind of funny. I've got 2 different versions of the Hawaii Five-0 theme done like this. But anyway, if you ever watch the Buddy Holly story, the beginning, opening credits, you see the guy that's performing here later in life in the 70s when they made Buddy Holly's story. He's playing, in a roller rink, and it's supposed to be Lubbock, and then Buddy Holly's band comes into the roller rink and starts playing a completely different